And my life's been 7 chapters, so where should I start this story? Like before I found my health, I was poorly.
Welcome to the DSix channel. Today we're bringing something different. Obviously you're used to seeing us making music, rapping, vlogs, all that type of stuff. But today's it's a podcast of the life of Jake. As you would have seen, you know, all the music videos, the merch, the book, everything that's been happening over the past couple of months. You've probably been thinking, what's it about and what's going on? So today is basically myself asking Auntie Devs about the whole purpose of everything that and where it's come from. So big up.
Big up, man. Big up GHOSTiN, my bro. Let's go, man.
So before we get into the chapters, obviously 7 chapters of the book, just explain, like, where did the book come from? What gave you the motivation to do it?
It's like I always wanted to write a book from early, and it was always something I wanted to do, you know what I'm saying? It was just always in my mind, like a calling. But getting caught up in the world and everything's just, it seems more like you're getting dragged more than you're actually living. Like you feel like you're having to go here and go there more than just sit still and actually do what you want to do. You feel like you're dragged to do what they want to do. So when I actually sat down, I was forced to sit down, grateful for sitting in jail. The thought came, like, we had our plan, and then I thought, that came to mind as well, I thought. But I had no concept of what it would be about. It was just there, innit?
You know, it was, I remember you saying, like, when we spoke, when I was still in there, you said, look, I'm going to write a book, and I was like, yeah, go for it. I think at that time you didn't even have a plan or nothing until I'm writing this book, and this is what's going to happen, so...
I think you would understand it, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, that's where it all starts from, the thought of doing it. Doesn't even matter about the whole concept. Like, you can't think about the top of the mountain or how you're going to achieve it. You just got to take that first step up the mountain. No, so I'd say it started from there, but more deeper into it is like into the book. It's more like a reflection.
Would you say that you had doubts or obstacles? I'm guessing you had obstacles to get over to release the book, and would you say there was doubts or thoughts of not doing it in the process, or was it just constant?
I wanted to give up bare times, but you see what it is? I've gave up on so many things in my life. I've never really completed something tangible, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm going to win the battle on my mind this time, innit? So I thought, I am going to do it. And then obviously there was other battles as well. It's like, I'm being too vulnerable, and I was scared to release it. It's like, it's a part of me, you know what I'm saying? I was a bit scared to show that part of myself, but it was like, you've committed now, you wanted to do it. You said you're not giving up, so you have to accept the road you're going down now, however it makes you feel, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, for real.
So that's where it stemmed from, really, you know?
Yeah, no, of course. So, we'll go into the chapters, and the first chapter is Lost Soul. So, where did Lost Soul come from, and, you know, what was the meaning behind this chapter in the book?
Growing up, I just felt disassociated from this world, and I didn't understand anything. Like, I didn't understand what it meant or what I even felt within until, like, recent, you know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to understand, but it's like, I just felt like the black sheep in my family, friends, everything. It's like, I could relate to nothing but relate to all. So it's like I didn't know where to fit in. It's like I fitted in nowhere. So it's like, when you fit in everywhere but you fit in nowhere, where do you be? It's like I was stuck in limbo my whole childhood. So it's like, when you're stuck in limbo, you're lost in it, because left or right, where you trying to go?
Obviously, me reading the book and in the part in there about the label being thrown at you through the education system, would you say, like, that played a part in being lost? Because people are saying, this is you, this is that, you can't do this, can't do this. Because of that, would you say that played a big part of feeling lost, or that was one of the parts, but there's more to it in a sense?
I say, yeah, that definitely played a part 100%, because it's like, I felt like I was striving by, like, trying to go somewhere, but there's bare barriers to where I'm trying to go. And then when they're throwing these labels, it's like, you doubt yourself, because as a youth, you just accept what is thrown your way.
Yeah, of course.
Especially when it's coming from people you'll consider who are responsible for you, and they're saying, yeah, they're correct. So now you accept the label, and it's like, the label isn't you, so you're accepting something that isn't you, so it's going to cause conflict within. And then conflict would arisen, because it's like, now I'm battling myself, like, that's not me, but that is me. They get telling me, and then it's like, trying to compartmentalize everything and conceptualize all them feelings, it was a bit hard to understand. It was like,
See, at that age as well, you take it and say, okay, that's me, but like you say, deep down, you know, it's not really you, and there's more of a spiritual meaning to it, in a sense. Like, they can say this is you, but deep down, you know, that ain't me. So I think at that age, you just kind of accept it, in a sense, like you say, because what else could you really do? But until you really go down the path of finding yourself, in a sense.
facts, yeah, that's it still.
So the next chapter is Fresh Start. Obviously, with this chapter, would you say, obviously, because the book's written in the past, would you say there's still present moments in this book that related, or was it all just based on
I'd
back
say,
when you was a kid, in a sense, or would it still relate to this journey now?
yeah, I would say 100% links to this journey now, because it's like, we all experience the same emotions going through life. So what I experienced in childhood, I'm still going to experience now, just in a different way.
Yeah, no, facts.
So it's like, but it's still the same emotion. For example, anger. I got angry at something then, but now I get angry at something else now. It's still the same emotion in a different moment in time. So it's like, it's definitely linked to the present moment in that sense, and a bit further on, because it's like, when I writ it first, it was more of a journal to myself.
Yeah.
Then as I started developmentally editing it and going through with the editors, and they're showing me different angles to go about it, then I thought, I can kind of make this into a conversation from the past to the present, and kind of show like the contrast in it, and show the reader that like the past isn't them in this moment, but you're still going to experience the past in the moment, because you're still going through the same emotions in the moment.
Yeah, nah.
If that
I
makes
think
sense.
that's a bit, man. Nah, it makes sense, for real. It makes sense. You see, the Fresh Start as well. Like, what would you say more about the Fresh Start? Like, what was the Fresh Start for yourself? Like, obviously, I remember you telling me you was writing the book. So was it when you come out as well, Fresh Start of coming out of jail? And so what was the Fresh Start, in a sense?
The fresh start in the book.
Like, in the whole thing, like, for yourself? And
I would say, yeah, for the past, the fresh start then was rebelling all, in a sense. It's like, forget what you got to say, I'm doing me no matter what, innit? So that was then the fresh start, to contrast it, because the book is a contrast here. It's like, it was coming out of jail, and that is a fresh start, because I said I wanted to change my way of living to a certain extent, and it's like, that was the fresh start. Are you going to go left? Are you going to go right? And it's like, that was the contrast of that fresh start, in a sense, yeah.
Yeah, man. So the next chapter is Time to Grow Up. Now, I'm guessing from what you're just saying now is probably relating to, like, dealing with your emotions a bit better, in a sense, in that way, or just grow as a person, I guess. But what did the Time to Grow Up in the chapter, what was the cause behind that, like, if you break it down, in a sense?
Time to grow up was more like, the childhood was a bit mad, and I felt fearful of my surroundings. Like, I was very fearful of all that was around. So it's like, time to grow up was realizing that I have to get out the fear mindset to be my highest version, in a way. Like, obviously not my highest version of infinity, like highest version of in that moment in time. Like, if I'm fearing everything around me, which is just a few people around and a few circumstances, there's no way I'm going to be able to grow up. So it was kind of that understanding of, I had to grow up in myself to be the person I want to be. So whatever that meant, I had to act upon, in a way.
You see, like, where you mentioned the fear, like, I think that's what stops a lot of people from doing anything. Like, before they even do anything, the fear comes, and
It comes in.
and they don't want to do it no more. They're thinking doubt. So
What is it? The next project? What is that bar?
that's what I was thinking about. The bars,
Fear ends the dream before it even
and it's
starts.
fact, you know what I mean?
Like,
For real.
you can't achieve if you're in fear. Like, fear is the opposite to love, and a dream is a loving state for a lot of people. Even if they're in fear in this world, when they have a good dream, they wake up smiling. So it's like, if you're trying to live your dream in this reality, you have to be in a loveful place. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah, for real.
can't come from a place of fear, because nothing's going to get achieved.
You know what it is? I think fear comes with a lot of things, like you say, people butting in or putting doubts in people's minds before they even start the journey. So I guess it's always overcoming that fear, and just regardless of what you're thinking, or, you know, like you say, if it's your dream and you want it that bad, you're going to keep going, aren't you? Regardless of...
Facts.
or
Like, fear doesn't leave. Fear, the mind is fear. Like, the mind is there to survive. So the mind has to be in fear to make us survive.
Safety mode. You know what I mean?
But if we allow the mind to control our heart and spirit, then we're finished, because your whole life is just, you're a robot now. You can get in control by the program of the mind. So now you're finished, innit?
Yeah, no, for
I don't know what else to say to you.
For real. Say, next chapter, time to let go. So, what was you letting go in a sense? What was time to let go?
Time to let go is letting go of all the labels, let go of all the fears in the moment. Like, in that chapter, I was starting to see, that chapter in my life, I was starting to see, like, how it was all an illusion. So, like, the person with the power isn't really the one with the power. It's just, in that moment, you think he's got the power because they've got control in that moment. But when you actually see someone who has got more power than that person in that moment, you realize they actually haven't got no power. Then the illusion was starting to fade away for me. It was like the facade, like, yeah, it's all an illusion in a sense. Like, it's all a hierarchy, but in the sense that if you don't see the hierarchy now, you can get to the top of that hierarchy because you're not in fear of the person who is above you.
See, without trying to ruin the book in a sense, I think that plays the part with, you know, where the family situation, I think, is referring to with the, like, your dad playing in the book, and then obviously your mom's boyfriend in the book. Is that where it comes from in a sense, or
yeah, that's the high, yeah, of course. That's what I was thinking of as I was speaking. It's like
one person's got the power, and I know what you mean. Yeah,
that's exactly it. So that power, that illusion of power, started to fade away in that moment.
When you see the person you look up to is a bit, of the other person. Yeah, no, for real, a bit fearful of the other person. Would you say like because obviously in there as well, back then you was obviously jogging and whatever. Was that part of time to let go of that lifestyle as well? Because obviously you was out there doing the fast lifestyle, and would you say that was time to let go? Or was that not that part to let go yet? Was there still more to it?
I'd say
of that lifestyle.
The contrast will be time to let go in that sense in the present moment now, but for the childhood moment, really, it was just like letting go of the fear of the illusion that people have over you. Okay. Like, no one has nothing over you unless you allow them to have something over you. It's all your mind that perceives that fear. So in that moment, it was that. In this present moment, it was like letting go of that life there.
Yeah. Not for real. The next chapter is Apprentice. Now, what was the? I think that sounds a bit like The Road to me in a sense. Apprentice, or was that when it all?
That's when
the
it
road
all
came. So
it's like that was when I just started to see. I started to see the illusion. So like, your family will always show you the best situation. So like, my mum used to show me the best situation. She used to get me whatever I wanted, whatever she could afford, whatever I asked for, I would receive. Same with my dad. But then I started to see it was all an illusion as well. Like, they're doing all this, but they actually can't afford it, and they're actually not in the position to say they are in the most respectful way. So it's like the apprenticeship phase was like, the contrast of that is, I'm on a block seeing these people in the big cars, big watches, and you're seeing all this. It's like, raw. They're doing that to get this, and it's like, I want this. And mummy's going work 2 jobs, and she's living like that, and daddy's doing the same. So it's like, why am I going to go do that when I can get this by doing that? And it seems much more better and more fun in a sense. You're not trapped in one illusion, but you are, but you don't see it like that when you're in it.
You don't see it when you're doing it. I mean, I think talking about obviously the parents' illusion, I think for parents, they don't really want the kids to see the struggles or to see, like, you know, they want to do everything they can for you in a sense, you know what I mean? So they're not trying to show you that side. And I think a lot of parents out there, they do put themselves second to their children. And I mean, that's parents at the end of the day as well, isn't it? You see, like, The Apprentice as well, yeah? Would you say, like, obviously you spoke about saying, like, the getting in the road was fun and that. But how would you explain that in a sense now? Like, you know, like, seeing all these big watches and big whips and that, like, how would you explain that now in a sense?
How I explain it now is it's numbing, because the roads comes with so much stress that you need your own way to get out of it.
What would you say the about the roads now? Like back then, you said it was fun and it was exciting seeing everyone with the big whips and the chains and whatever. But how would you put that into words now?
I feel like it was just more of trying to cover a cloud, and it's like you go through that much on the roads, yeah, mentally, spiritually. It's like you need something physically to help you. If you're not in tune with your spiritual side, which is hard to in that life, unless if you are, then it would be a bit easier for you. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not, then you need something physical to make it look like it's all worthy. You're on a road getting chased by feds, you're nearly losing your life and madness. It's like, oh yeah, man get the nice car and man get the nice watch. It all makes it seem a little bit better, innit? It's like
it was worth it in a sense.
Yeah, but it's like battle scars, innit?
Yeah, of course. I feel like like you say, it's numbing stress, all these things that you're overcoming that. But I think that's the thing that people looking in don't see. Like a lot of people are like, oh, they da-da-da-da-da, but they don't see the process. Like people looking in that are just ordinary people. They just think it's all win profit game kind of thing. So it's like there's more to it in a sense that doesn't get said or shown, if you know what I mean.
Nah, facts. That's why I started laughing, because it's like it's another illusion again, isn't it? It's
yeah.
For the kids getting into the life, it's an illusion, and then the kids looking out who just go to work, living a normal life, think it's all beautiful, so they'll get into it, but it's all an illusion again. It's like it doesn't just come easy, because
not for real.
Say you get that watch, you get that nice car, you're on the come up now, someone wants to take that away from you, and it's like, because you're on the roads and you're literally in a jungle, it's easier for them to do it. You're not really in tune with your intuition to understand a lot, like, oh, you'll be around fake people and
without even knowing,
and then
you
boom,
know what I mean?
you get snake like that, and then life can just end in an instant, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real.
Real quick.
Keep that grass short, boy, but...
Facts.
So, boy, like I say that in the next chapter, bridges burned, or a lesson learned, so it's like... I think this has a big saying, obviously. We'll talk about the book again first, like what this one meant in the book at the time and where it come from, so...
Bridges burnt, or a lesson learned. At that time, it was like... burning all the bridges of what was trying to control me. So burning all the labels, burning all the illusions of power I had all over me, burning all the fantasies I was getting shown by my mother and father. Thank you, though, for the life you gave me. But it was burning all of the fantasies, and it was just going in my own path. Like, I see it all now, yeah. Now I'm going to do what I want to do, because what you're showing me is a lie. I understand why it was a lie, because you didn't want me getting into certain things. But that lie kind of led me to try and free us all. And then it was like F the system in a way, like you was trying to enslave me in that aspect of my life. And it was like burning everything then. And then the contrast of it was for now, like it was like burning bridges with people that no longer serve a purpose in my life. Like people only serve a purpose in your life in the moment, in time. So it's like when you're trying to strive for a better meaning, a different meaning, you see the loyalty just fades. Then it was like understanding that certain bridges needed to be burnt so new bridges could be created.
You see, like the bridges burnt as well. It's not always a negative burn in a sense, because for an example, like going back to when you're done about, you know, the system and that, when you're in school or whatever, by the time you leave school, you don't even talk to them people again. So it's like a bridge has been burnt there in a sense. So the bridges burnt ain't always a negative thing. Obviously, there's other side of it, like, you know, if someone does something mad and you're like, yeah, forget that, like, that bridge is getting burnt. So, like, what experiences would you say now then, like, bridges got burnt and a lesson was learnt, like, from this journey that...
Past or present?
We go present in a sense of what man have been on, and, you know, so the journey's still now.
So, like, jail then, because I know you can relate. People say a lot of words on the roads, innit? But their words don't match their actions when you're inside. No, so like, big up the people that had me in jail, big up them people, they know who there was in it. But the people that say certain things, you got this, and then boom, you go away, and it's like, outside our mind is a real thing. I understand everyone's got to live their life here. Like, facts, everyone's got to live their life. The world doesn't stop, whether you're in jail or you die, and it's simple as. Sounds mad, but that's how it is.
It's facts, that's how it goes.
But when people have words, yeah, and they don't act upon their words, it's finished, isn't it? Like,
I think, you see what it is, like, that's become a norm now, and like people would just say something and then not do it. I mean, if you're gonna say something, you want this act up on it in a sense. You know what I mean? There's no point in saying something and not doing it. If you're not, why not just be real and be like, you know what, I'm not gonna do it or I can't do it. Then I think you'd have more respect for them in that sense. You know what I mean? Instead of someone lying and then it's just.
I don't like to say a word that I'm not gonna act upon.
So we're on to the last chapter now. All burns in the end. And I mean that alone says a lot. So would you just like to explain a bit more of like, we go to the book of All Burns in the End, like where it come from for the last part of the book in a sense.
So like the All Burns in the End in the book here, it's like reality's hit now. Man's on the roads, doing what I got to do. Boom, boom, boom. Situations occurred, and boom. Now the police are at my nan's door. Now all of the thoughts come into my mind, all the disrespects, all of. Like now the heart feeling is hitting in, like the ego's kind of gone now.
Like you come into your senses,
come into your senses, you're in that police car now, the senses are there like, yo, I disrespected hard, and you're getting in tune with your spirit a bit more now, so it's like, that was in the book terms, like, all burns in the end, like, it all came to an end. You had the Apprentice phase, and now it's all come crumbling down, like, the harsh reality of the roads is, it's came now, it's like, how do you want to go about it now? Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, of course.
So it's like, that was that in that past moment, but in the present moment, all burns in the end. It's like all of the people around me that I started to see just had endless words about situations, but there was no actions upon it. And it's like people that are just stuck in growth and they don't want to grow. It's like them bridges had to burn in the most positive way. Like, some are negative because some people do certain snaky moves, you know what I'm saying? So it ends in a bad way, innit? But with some people, it's like, I'm trying to see the moon, yeah, but you're just trying to see Earth, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to, Elon Musk needs to shout me, I'm trying to go somewhere out of Earth, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what it is about, like, because I mentioned the positive, negative, like the positive, you can still be cool, but you just know, like, this is my journey, that's yours in a sense. Because like you say, you could say someone's not feeling it, they want to stay still, but you want to go far. So I respect that. On the negative side, like you say, some things people do, you just really can't come back from it in a sense. It's like, okay, that's dead now. Like,
facts, and certain people know who they are in it, so we'll leave it as that, you know what I'm saying? But it's that real though, man. It's that real, like, that's what I had to learn in it, because I was trying to say we're all crabs in the bucket. I was trying to carry people up here, but it's like, people don't want to come up, you know what I'm saying? It's like, how can you're trying to get out of the bucket, but they're not trying to get out of the bucket, but you're trying to bring them up, but they're trying to pull themselves down where they're comfortable. It's like, there's a contrast, and if you don't get rid of that in the middle, like, you're going to just stay stagnant, because you need people around you that can help you grow in it. What is that saying that everyone always says? Yeah, it's cliche, but it's true. The 5 people around you are the 5 people you'll be in it. So like,
no, for real.
You need to be around them people there.
So what's around you becoming it. So if someone's got no drive, you're gonna have no drive in a sense.
Facts.
You know what it is as well. I feel like people, they want to take the journey, but I think a lot of people, from seeing myself, it's like everyone wants to be the main person. Like, it's like people can't work together in a sense. I think that's what I find out. People can't work together, but the reality is when you've got a good team around you, like, nothing's impossible. Like, the team is what makes the dream work. So like, that is basically all the chapters in a sense, like, and about the book. I would say without giving too much away, we're just showing you bits about the book. So like, where can they find this book? Like, where can they go get the book? Obviously, we got the merch tops on, you know, the Life of Jay. Like, where can they go and get all this stuff?
The book, Amazon, you can get it on Amazon. All their merch, DSix7s.co.uk, that's where the merch is at right now. That's that really. If you want to find socials, Devs is Anti12, GHOSTiN_22.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? DSix7s TV, YouTube.
You got the DSix7s Facebook and DSix7s1 Twitter, which is now X or whatever you want to call it, you know what I mean? I don't know what's going on there, but
it's all mad.
That's all the socials. And coming up, we got more music coming still. Like, we got
a couple projects in the line.
We got stuff coming still, so just stay tuned for that one. And yeah, man, like, go get this book. I'm telling you, I've read it myself, and the book, knowing Devs and that, like, for me to read it, it threw me as well, because I thought, raw, like, this is actually a good book, like, the way it's written and everything. So big up yourself for that. But a question quickly, Is that the end of the life of Jake?
The Life of Jake universe.
My life has been 7 chapters, so where should I end this story?